Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Warships Legends. My name is Spartan Elite 43 and tonight we have a replay sent over in a collaboration with Tbull. If you haven't seen his channel, I'll leave a link in the description below to the video that he did that was my gameplay, and you go over and check him out, man. I've said it before, I'll say it again, he's one of the best out there as far as guide videos go. So if you guys are interested in any sort of guides, any sort of builds for specific commanders, anything like that, I beg you to go check him out. He's really, really, really good with that sort of stuff. He's the technical guy. He's got all of the information you could ever ask for. So definitely go check him out. Now we are in the Mogami. He showed the commander build at the beginning of the video, so make sure if you're interested, pause the video, go back to the beginning, check out the skills he's got, and we'll be in a ship that we have yet to see on the channel yet. And he is spotted right off the bat here in the Mogami, the Tier 7 Japanese cruiser. Now, we haven't seen a whole lot of like heavy cruisers, and we definitely haven't seen the Mogami. Now, we've got a good shot at the Colorado. Looks like he's sighting him in. He's got a pretty decent lead on him. What's wrong with the guns? Oh, God. Surely the guns aren't that slow. I mean, he was turning, obviously. But, man, that was rough. He's avoided running into his teammate. He led the Colorado a bit too much, apparently. Colorado either slowed down or just flat out wasn't going as full throttle. And he has switched to high explosive and true cruiser style at long range. Unless you're in, say, the Baltimore, where you have the bonus of having literally the best AP in the game as far as cruisers go. The American armor piercing gets a buff in the penetration angle that it is allowed to penetrate. So, that being said, the Japanese get a buff in having the best HE of any cruiser in the game. It does more damage on average and has a higher chance of setting fires than the other cruisers. That fell a little bit short, and the Colorado has fired back in his general direction, and those 16-inch guns couldn't nail him. Oh, he does take a nasty hit, but nothing that's, you know, too serious, and he gets a shot at the Akatsuki. Now, I don't know what the Akatsuki has thought here, but he was wrong. Because, yeah, I mean, you can't do this in a ship designed for stealth. What are you doing? But all the torps in the water, no big deal. He's already popped his hydro. He was ready for them, and he's in no danger of being torped here. As long as he gets out of the way of those last 3 torpedoes, which looks like he's trying to at the moment. And final torpedo, yep, he's clear. No problem whatsoever. Not even slightly scary. Now, he launches 2 salvos of torpedoes back at the Akatsuki in a little, I hope you're stupid enough to stay in the smoke screen kind of deal. And I'll be real honest, that's a pretty nasty wall of skill. And I have a feeling that he might be able to find the Akatsuki. I mean, if the Akatsuki's thought process was, I'm going to charge straight into the enemy team with all the cruisers that were spotted the entire time, I don't know what he was thinking. Surely, of all the Akatsuki players, he would be the one that would stay in his smokescreen. But he's probably already dead. Looks like we have a cruiser or a destroyer right on top of him. Just barely has the firing angle to get it over top of the mountain right there. And sets a fire on the Colorado. Now, this is where cruisers are extremely dangerous. All cruisers, not just the Japanese cruisers, but all cruisers. You get behind an island like this and have a firing solution on the target where you can just absolutely riddle them. Now, his plane must have gotten shot down, is the only, thought that I have, because it didn't last very long once he put it out there. And cruisers have the best planes as far as duration in the game. I know the American planes that were out were like 5 minutes, so, and the Japanese probably right there with them, and the Germans as well. It's pretty long duration planes. Now, this Colorado is not doing himself any favors sitting out in front of everybody just saying, please shoot me on broadside, please shoot me. We've talked about this map in particular multiple times, in that this side of this map is always outnumbered. Now, In this case, it appears that that's not correct. Because his team has the numbers on this side of the map, and they have absolutely run over the red team that was over here. Now, that could be multiple reasons. Could be that he managed to, or the enemy team managed to try to go over to the other side to support, and everybody just kind of followed. But he's doing a good job not getting spotted, not taking damage, and setting fires that are going to keep burning. Now, the funny thing about fires when you set a single fire is, yes, there are those people that put the fire out immediately. Usually cruiser captains will, but battleship captains very rarely, well, you shouldn't, unless you're low health, put a single fire out. It's just, you're going to get set on fire again, because as soon as you pop that damage control, everybody for a 10-mile radius is going to be like, oh, by the way, he just used his damage control. Set him on fire again. And then you're going to have all the fires. I've done it myself. I've accidentally popped it and realized, oh, crap, there's an Atlanta around the corner, or something that sets you on fire 3 times, and you die from it because there's nothing you can do. Because a minute and a half sitting there without your damage control. Now, cruisers, the damage control reloads much quicker. So it's not as bad in a cruiser, and you usually don't have the heals unless you've got some of the premium cruisers that are out there, or the British cruisers up to the Danae. They had the heals as well, but they're practically battleships. I know, somebody's going to make fun of me for that. But we've got a Nagato, another 16-inch gun looking at you. Not preferable, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. These Japanese and the American cruisers, like French cruisers can get away with it, German cruisers can get away with it. The Japanese cruisers and the American cruisers get deleted when fighting battleships broadside. But he's doing okay here because he's not the only thing that the battleship has to shoot at. And he's not the closest thing the battleship has to shoot at, but somebody in the background says, hey, I want to shoot at Tbull. Wait for it. Oh, yeah, that was... Luckily for Tbull there, the person in the back kind of misplayed their shot. But that could have been very nasty. And Tbull, not one to test his luck twice, says, okay, if they're shooting at me, it's time to start moving again. And so he's going to continue to put some distance between them. But notice he's not sailing at a 90-degree to or from the enemy. Okay? He's sailing at an angle. And that angle saves people's lives. I use it a little bit because it irritates me. But like right now, he's about to go 90 degrees to the enemy, right? When you're going perfectly 90 degrees, you make yourself very easy to hit. When you give it a couple degrees forward or aft, forward or reverse away, from the enemy, then you make yourself much harder to anticipate where the shots need to be. Now, the dispersion will still hit you, because that's what dispersion's for, really. Let's be real. I mean, dispersion's technically for battleships to not just completely obliterate everything they shoot at, even though, we do at least 33% of the time. But the Nagato has no health left. He's got torps in the water headed his direction, but Tbull's like, I think I'll shoot a couple high explosive at him. Maybe I'll take him down. And he's already setting up a torp strike on this New Orleans. Now, he's got to be very careful here, because that New Orleans has, as we've mentioned, the best armor-piercing rounds for a cruiser in the game. And he's got 203mm guns that are fully capable of citadeling other cruisers really nastily. However, he's not using it. Tbull is firing back in HE, using the strengths of his ship. The New Orleans and the Pensacola, not so much the Pensacola, but the New Orleans and the Baltimore, very good armor. Sailing at any sort of angle, armor piercing will bounce off of them, especially from other cruisers. But he's using armor piercing here as he's trying to get good shots, and it looks like the New Orleans kind of goofed here, is about to run aground. He fires, anticipating a further turn. Is he going to get a citadel? Come on, baby. That's a little late, but it hits him. Decent damage, and that New Orleans is in trouble. Now, he just ran aground, so he's probably going to back up. He loaded a salvo of high explosive here, just to try to get a little bit more damage off of him. He gets some hits, knocks out some secondaries. And it looks like those torpedoes are going to be able to hit their mark. He fires another salvo, and there is the torpedo that hits its mark. I only need one of them. Japanese torpedoes, I've said it before, I'll say it again. Other than the French, who are right there with them, they're disgusting. The amount of damage Japanese... Oh my Iowa. There's no way that should be what you end up with in your Iowa. Been there, done that. But this high explosive barrage is probably going to be the death of him. Oh, not quite. Is he going to be able to snipe the kill? Nope. Iowa finished him off. Now, his team is losing at the moment. No fault of Tbull. I mean, he's got 127,000 damage already, which, by the way, is more damage than I've ever done in a cruiser. I've gotten more than one over 100k games in my Baltimore, but I've never managed to get this kind of damage in a cruiser. He's already had double-digit fires. He's 10 fires set, and the snipe on the end of the New Orleans with the torpedo. But that's the only torpedo hit he's got the entire game. So, yeah. He's done alright for himself. And he's got all of his health left. Now, we notice a battleship, it looks like, is about to head into our base, so he's falling back using the speed that he does have to try to get back across the map. The Tirpitz, he sees him, doesn't have much health. Our Iowa is pretty much full health, but he's not going to be that way for much longer if he stays broadside on to another battleship. Let alone multiple battleships, because he can't see all of them. So, Iowa, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to stop that. Oh, and here comes the rounds. Oh, I can just feel it. I can feel it. I don't want to look. I don't want to look. Oh, he's got so much health, and it's starting to disappear. He's down to about half health. Now we are finally in range. Tirpitz not moving very fast here. He did lead him a little too much, maybe? Or maybe not. The hang time of the cruiser rounds is helping. And he gets some nice hits. There's his high caliber. And you could tell that this was a heavy battleship game because a high caliber with 130,000 damage is pretty awesome. Now, Iowa just fired at us, so I would expect us to get moving. Ooh, God, that's... Ooh, wow. Wow. That was so close to just potential death right there. That was an Iowa barrage that was on point. Landed just off the side of the ship. That was death staring you right in the face in a cruiser. And that's the thing about cruisers. I say it all the time. You cannot afford to make mistakes in a cruiser. If you watched my stream yesterday, you know this. I made so many mistakes where I was the one person that was getting spotted and everybody was able to focus, and the battleship captains don't miss that often when I'm in a cruiser. I don't know why. When I'm in any other ship, they'll miss me all day long. But when I'm in my cruiser, my God, they hit every single time. And so, trying to put some distance between him and the Iowa, not a bad play. He's already launched torpedoes from behind the cover of the island slightly. So, if the Iowa's not paying attention, he could easily eat these torpedoes. We know that the Iowa has terrible torpedo reduction, with only being 25%. So any of these Japanese torpedoes find their mark, it's devastating. Instead of 17 or 20,000 damage, you could end up with, 12 or 13,000. But still, absolutely devastating. That's like getting citadeled by an Iowa. It's not a good feel. And it looks like at least one of them is going to hit. The other one is iffy at this point if the Iowa turns. If he stays the course, yeah, he's definitely going to get one miss and the other one potentially a hit. He took a round, managed to not get citadeled. Oh, and the Iowa managed to avoid them. But at the very last moment. And he gets the fire that he's been waiting for. Does the Iowa immediately extinguish? It doesn't look like it. Now, you can see that Tbull uses the gun lock a lot. And personally, I use it, but I don't use it all the time. Because it doesn't seem to do me any good. Or I just forget about it. Or I click it all the time when I don't want to. So, it puts me in a bad spot. Time is running out. Tbull's team is not winning until that moment right there when he burns the Iowa to death, leaving it just him and a destroyer, and he's already got his hydroacoustic running. Is he going to be able to pull it off, or is he just going to live? Wait for it. And we win. Nice job, Tbull. Right down to the very last moment. Just being able to burn that Iowa to death and win the match. You gotta love it. Probably one of the best cruiser matches you're going to see for a while. 168,000 damage with 152 targets hit, 1 torpedo hit, 3 kills, and the clutch kill on the Iowa at the end, top of the leaderboard, 3,100 base XP. So again, if you haven't seen Tbull's channel, I'll leave a link in the description below. Go check him out. And like I said, he's got so many guides out there, guys. All of you guys that ask me about guides, he is the man for guides. So I urge you to go check him out. And if you like what I'm doing, punch the like button, leave a comment below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and as always, I will see you in the next video.